Hola, buenos días. Soy Nico.
It's simple. He don't like you. He don't call you. He don't like you. He don't keep his word. He don't like you. He's inconsistent. He has someone else. He only calls you when he wants something. He's using you. He starts random arguments. He's cheating on you. He's not investing in you. You're not worth the investment. Never met his family. You're not the one. Been with your guy 5+ years. No ring. No marriage. He's still searching. You're a placeholder. Men are not complicated. They're very easy to know. Men don't talk with their words, they talk with their actions. Let's go, That Nation. Be smart, date smart, choose wisely. And remember, I told you.
And today we're here to talk about two serious subjects. And before we get started, I just want to say sorry for the late upload in general, just because I had to run errands today. And it was related to the blood work that I need to do for prep because I get tested and screened, as I tell you guys all the time. But I also want businesses to start updating on Google when a location is closed. Nico, there is no reason I should have to spend $15 on an Uber to get to a building for some blood work, and they tell me, oh, this location is temporarily closed. But it says open on Google. So before we get started on any shenanigans, etc., I want Google to correct themselves and the businesses they align with. But yes, let's move forward. So today, first and foremost, I want to give an update on Eric and Johntae. Guilty. Nico, guilty. They are guilty. They were found guilty of the crime they committed against Mr. Eric Bradshaw, who is unfortunately no longer with us. I have to tiptoe around that topic in particular because that one gets me demonetized. And speaking of demonetized, if you like this kind of content, make sure to follow me on patreon.com/Nicosaesthetics for more exclusive lives, weekly videos, be a part of the podcast, which is airing still, allegedly. I was told that one episode went up just the other day, and I'm like, oh, Nico Dama strikes again. I was looking into the future. But they will continue to get uploaded after I get back to Houston and move my stuff, which is coming at the beginning of July. I will finally be in New York City fully in my apartment that I already signed a lease for in July. But yes, let's get started. Today, the update on Eric and Johntae, I've actually done a few videos on them, and when I would come up here and give y'all the information available, the follow-up video was more so to correct the information as more information continued to come out. And what I want to say is, y'all still owe me an apology. Nico, I was correct. At first I was correct adjacent, and then I was correct. And I understand this is a serious situation, but basically I do some form of research before I actually post a story. If I don't have any form of information, if I don't have a reason to believe someone did something, I'm not going to talk on it. So now that the court system is done, now that they were found guilty for life sentences with a possibility of parole plus 5 years, I'm going to move on. Because y'all was dragging me, y'all was saying, how could you claim good black men could possibly do something like this? And then they did it. So, going forward, I know you bitches not going to apologize because you never do. Going forward, if I come here with an actual news story and I'm giving you factual information, not just my own opinion, girl, do not sit up here and say I'm lying and tell me that I'm wrong. Because obviously, the follow-up video was correct. And they were sentenced. So moving on. Hey there, future Nico while editing. I just wanted to come back and say that sometimes I can be incorrect. Don't feel like afraid to try to correct me or give me the actual information. But if I make a follow-up and it has the actual news articles and the information that's available to the public through the actual court case, that's when I'm like, girl, you need to, come on, be serious. People were telling me to do an update video on that, and I'm like, I already did like 2-3 videos on them, and the situation hasn't necessarily changed, but now the case is officially closed. But looking at the next case, we're going to be talking about Darius Official, who actually came forward about a situation where he had got in contact with someone from his past, and basically he continued to explain to this person while the other person was drinking that, yes, we're cool, we can be friends, but I just don't see this going, further and us getting back together. And when he was calmly telling him this, the person basically snapped and snuck him. And from there, he threw him to the ground and continued to stomp on him.
This person from my past, 2 months ago, we were in each other's presence, and we were having a conversation about something that involved somebody else, and I basically expressed to him that, like, me and you aren't a thing anymore. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't, we're not together anymore. Like, so whatever I have going on in my life, I can do that because I keep telling you, like, we're not together at all. Like, we're not. And yeah, when I said that, like, he literally lashed out and just, like, I'm talking about, y'all, like, caught me the fuck off guard. Like, we weren't arguing or nothing, which is crazy. We were literally sitting there having a genuine conversation. However, though, he had liquor in his system, I believe. But regardless of whatever the fact is, it just shouldn't have happened the way that it did. But yeah, when I said that, he literally just lashed out, and, like, y'all, I just remember, like, I think I picked up my phone or something, but I turned my head for a quick second, and before you knew it, like, a big ass fist to my jaw, like a big ass fist to my jaw. And then from that point on, it was just like consistent hits. Like, he picked me up, he slammed me to the ground, he was like punching me in my face, like he stumped my head into the ground. It's crazy. Like, it's fucking, it was just nuts. Even me thinking about it now, just like, I'm just like really upset. And I guess I feel like I couldn't do shit because this motherfucker was like 3 times my size. You snuck me, you caught me off guard, and then you slammed me into the ground. And like, I had no chance to even try to like swing back because I'm already on the ground. Kicking, you stumping my head into the ground. Like, that shit just brings some type of like. This picture is all the blood that was on my shirt, on my sweatshirt. And then this is a picture of my face and how my face was fucked up from him stumping my head, stumping me in my face, and hitting me in my face. It literally happened at the end, the very ending of in December. It happened in December of 2022. So last year, not even 2 months ago. But I was
so he actually showed images in this video where he came forward, so I'm definitely believing him. But he had never named the person. And the blog that I got this video from is called I Am Supreme Tings. I'm gonna give them credit for this. But I went back and they had deleted it because they made a thread. And because Darius had never actually identified the person, they tried to link it to someone he was cited with a couple of months ago named I Am rejection. You know, the black guy that went viral a couple of months ago for just being blatantly fine. Nico, that man's fine. I'm not going to say he's not. But videos of them together on Instagram had resurfaced, and they tried to link him to it. And when somebody had asked him about it on live, like, why did you do that to Darius's face? He basically pretended like he didn't know who Darius was. Like, he didn't know a Darius in his life. He had never came across a Darius. And he pretended that the other co-host must be being spoken to.
Why you do Darius' face like that? Who Darius? Oh.
Anyway.
Darius. Is they talking to you or me? Because I know a Darius too.
They talking to you. Dapper, what's up? What's up with it, Twan?
So I can't say that adds credibility to I Am Supreme Tings who pointed the finger at him, especially because they did go back and delete the tweet. I actually tried to go back and look at that for more information. So I'm not going to focus the conversation on I Am rejection, seeing as how just because a finger was pointed at him by some blog, I can't say that it was him because Darius never specifically said it was this person. So in this particular situation, I want to open the conversation of why does rejection turn so many people violent? I mean, I understand that rejection does not feel good. You know, you want to be accepted. You want to be reciprocated with your emotions and your attraction. But at the end of the day, you are not owed romantic and or sexual access to somebody just because you find them attractive. And if them telling you I'm no longer interested in you or I'm not interested in you in general, it should not lead to another physical altercation, because I've been in situations where, I don't know if it's the Southerner in me, if it's the Houstonian in me, but I've been in situations where I've been texting dudes and honestly, I feel like the connection just isn't there anymore. And I tell them, hey, you know, I just don't see this going somewhere, or hey, I just don't feel that way about you anymore. We could definitely still be friends, but I'm just not wanting a romantic and or sexual relationship with you. And their entire energy would flip over text, basically saying, you're not even that attractive. I wasn't even really interested in you anyway. And It's basically like a coping mechanism. And I remember back in the day, maybe in like high school, I had asked this girl out and she basically told me no. And I even got defensive and I had to sit back and like realize just because someone doesn't want me in a romantic and or sexual access point does not mean that I have to make an actual reason for that to be the case. It could just be they aren't attracted to me. And at the end of the day, that should be fine. You know, a no should be a no. And I always say how violence is never really the answer and you shouldn't be putting your hands on people. And I really want to emphasize that, you know, aggression, physical interactions like that does not display love, that does not display care. So once again, let's open that dialogue on why we see so many situations, even in the gay community, because I'm not going to sit up here and pretend that it's just a heterosexual interaction. Why does rejection always turn into some form of violent altercation? And why are we not teaching each other emotional maturity and how to properly process rejection? Because I understand that in most cases, parents don't necessarily sit their children down to have these discussions. But as a community, if you know your friend is wilding out every time he gets curved or every time someone says they're not interested, you should just sit down and have a conversation with them and be like, hey, yo, man, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, and you just got to accept it as it is. But definitely drop your opinions down below, because I really appreciate Darius coming forward because he is a very popular figure on YouTube. And him telling his story and sharing his experience, I hope that also helps other people heal in this process, because in this situation, there's nothing that he necessarily could have done. He basically said, we were just chilling, having a normal conversation. And as soon as I calmly said, no, I just don't see us getting back to that point, he flipped on me. I genuinely do not see another way he could have navigated that, because in every possible scenario, he did everything right and he is an innocent party and or victim. But yes, definitely drop your opinions down below. Boop. And now for a brief yet sincere shout out to this week's Third Eye Tier subscribers, Darius S. and Demetrius D. Your continued support is greatly appreciated. Thank you once again. And this week's live stream will be another virtual hangout because unfortunately I do not have my podcast recording equipment with me, but someone called it my Club Renaissance tier of social media, so if that interests you, definitely check it out.